Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to the Laser Source Podcast, the #1 podcast. If you want to grow or scale your laser business, today we're doing questions right here live on the YouTube channel. Just a big Q&A. We've got a lot of stuff. I'm actually saying this at the end of the episode because when we started this episode, we didn't think that we'd really be doing much of anything today. But here at the end, we've just had dozens of great questions, a lot of really good answers. So I encourage you to stay, hang out, and listen to some of the community's questions because the content that we cover in tonight's episode, really informative. I think you guys are going to have a great time and get a lot out of it. So with that said, let's go ahead and start the episode. I touched the mic thing and it's just like everything just collapsed all at once. Oh my god, dude, I can't tension this any more than it already is. I shouldn't have touched it. I should have just left it alone. And there are people here, shockingly. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Hi, peeps.
Yeah, dude, these are the chill people are here today.
The OGs.
What's going on, guys? We're just hanging out. Kyle's messing around with his UV. Is that what you're doing? What are you doing?
I did mess around with the UV.
Past tense.
I'm currently editing a little video.
How was the UV experience?
I enjoyed it. You know that moment Jimmy tagged you with the UV?
Yeah.
I had one of those moments myself.
Oh, the UV bitch it today.
I did it to myself.
Oh no!
I was aligning something under the lens, and I learned a lesson not to
with the foot pedal.
Yeah, I learned a lesson not to leave the foot pedal on the floor.
Yeah,
or at least to know where you're stepping. I went to go reposition.
Oh yeah,
I stepped right on it and just got me.
Dude, I keep mine on top of the case now. Like that's where it lives. And unless I'm doing like a huge like batch job, I just push it with my hand. If I really want to push it, I'll just reach down and push it on the case. And then if I'm doing like a big batch job, I'll put it on the floor. But then it always goes right back up for that exact reason, because it's happened to me enough times on the fiber, which we know is not like a huge deal. But
yeah,
UV stings, dude. It's got a nip to it.
Even when outlining, if your hand is under it for long enough, you can feel it.
You want to see something crazy, dude? Have you ever just left some shit under the UV while it's like just the dot? It smokes.
After a while,
it's
like having a magnifying glass sitting over a piece of wood in the sun for an extended period of time. After a while,
it's pretty crazy. We got some people here hanging out. Let me just be super clear to everybody who's watching right now, just so you guys know, this is not an episode of the podcast. I know we usually do the podcast on Thursdays, but our guest canceled on Tuesday, so we had kind of our shoot the shit episode on Tuesday, and now we've got nothing. Hence the thumbnail,
the title.
We're definitely cruising on a certain mood today. Let me just read you in case you just showed up because you got a YouTube notification and you didn't click one of the links that I posted. The links that I posted say, I don't know if you guys ever had those kind of days. It's been rainy. It got dark early. I spent most of the day in bed or making t-shirts. Just turned my brain off today. I mean, it's been a couple of months since I've had a day like today. Anyway, we thought we'd say, hey, because it's Thursday. Are you in the mood to chill out, kick back, and dick around? If so, click the link below. That's literally what I wrote, word for word. So that's the mood right now. If you're not into that, that's okay. We'll be back with our normal content, soon. But today is just a rainy day, man. We're just having a rainy day.
Like always, we're always come hang out on the stream and hang out with friends type situation.
Yeah.
Today, that's literally all it is.
Yeah.
We're just hanging out with friends.
So we're doing.
Hang out.
I've actually got Photoshop up right now. I'm working on a couple t-shirts. Again, Kyle's told me 3 times right now, and I still don't know what he's doing. We haven't done this in a while because we're usually doing the podcast, and I don't really do it on the podcast. We mostly do it on live streams. But I just really quick, let's just appreciate the people we got in chat. Bill Gould says howdy. What's up, Bill? And Boba's here. Always nice to see you, Boba. Quasar hanging out, chillin'. Alan Hefferman. Alan has been all over the place lately. I've been seeing Alan comments. I've been seeing Alan in the live streams. Jack in the shop. Nobody is shocked to see Jack. And
Jack's our boy. He's everywhere too.
Ailric. Am I saying that right? Ailric. Good evening. How's it going? Mark Cooper. Chilling. What's up, Mark? And we got Anthony Montez. Laseristas. I kind of like that. Laseristas.
I can go for that.
Maybe that's a t-shirt. I just want to put everything on a t-shirt lately. I've been having so much fun with the merch shop. I think I said it last week during the last episode during the podcast, but like we've sold like 3 t-shirts ever. But I have so much fun making them. Like just want to like make fucking t-shirt designs all the time. Damien's here.
It's a good creative outlet.
What's up, Damien? Bill Gould says, I just got the P20 Plus yesterday. Having a lot of trouble trying to get it dialed in. Is that a diode? Do you know what that is off the top of your head, Kyle? I don't recognize that model. The P20 Plus. I'll Google it if I have to.
I think that is. Isn't that the new fiber head one?
I don't know.
Hold on. I'll look it up.
All right, you look that up. Boba says, we are here because we just like hanging out with you. Well, that's good. I like hanging out with you guys too. That's probably my favorite part about the job is just hanging out with people. Jack in the shop says the nothing video, LOL. Yeah, we're just, we're friends tonight instead of teachers and students. We're just broing out. Ruben Perez is here. Says, what's up, folks? What's up, Ruben? How you doing, man?
I was wrong.
Oh, what is it? What's a P20 Plus?
It's a diode. It's a 20 watt.
Is it a real 20 watt? Or is it an input wattage 20 watt?
It looks like a 20 watt.
What are you trying to get dialed in about it, Bill? Because typically diodes, I mean, they just kind of are what they are. There's not a lot that you have to do because they move at such slow speeds. So what are you trying to dial in? Quasar says, been painting inside the house for the last 2 days, and the muscles are aching. I feel that for sure. I just, we realized that our baby got big. So like our house is full of stuff that's like too small for our gigantic baby now. So I just moved it all to the studio today in like the back storage room. Or it wasn't today, it was yesterday. I don't even know what day it is. And that I felt that when I was done for sure.
It is a diode with 20 to 24 watts of output power. It's a 120 watt draw. That's beefy.
Who makes it?
A Tezer.
Never heard of it.
I've heard the name, but definitely not a common one. It looks very similar to an X-Tool or like a beefier atom stack.
It's got that like wraparound frame kind of design. Yeah.
It's nice. It looks good.
Sammy Gordon's here. What's up, Sammy?
Love to take a look at one of those. That would be different than anything we've had.
We got Beam It Up too. Just chilling. Bill says, not really sure if I need to calibrate anything. Not really, dude. Diodes are kind of plug and play. That's why they always get recommended for beginners. I mean, as long as you have decent tension on the belts, if you even needed to put belts on that one, some of them like the Ortur require you to like tension the belts. You got to run the belts through the little gears and stuff. If you didn't have to do that, you should literally just be like plugging it in and start marking stuff. So there really is not that much to do with diodes unless you're having like an actual problem. If you're like experiencing symptoms of something, then let us know what that is, and we could certainly help diagnose that. But
with a 20 watt, it's possible he could be moving faster than most people would be, but even then, like even something like scanning offset, which is what I've actually been testing on my CO2, you probably still wouldn't even need that on almost any diode.
Yeah,
because
I can't imagine you would. No,
it's just too slow.
Even the slowest speeds on the CO2 that Well, first of all, the scanning offset's really because the tubes can't fire fast enough to keep up with the transitioning speed. I don't know if that's true for diodes. I wouldn't imagine that it is. First of all. Second of all, even at its slowest speed that you would do a scanning offset adjustment for, which would be like 100 millimeters a second, right? That would be 6,000 millimeters a minute. Is that right? Am I doing the right math on that? I think so. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing at 6,000 millimeters a minute on a diode? Maybe at a 20 watt. Again, you're right. Maybe at a 20 watt, but I can't imagine that you would. The scanning offset adjustment is so minimal on a CO2 at 100 millimeters a second that I just can't imagine it being an issue. So,
diodes are a lot more efficient at firing when called upon too.
That's the long way of me saying plug and play, Bill. Go nuts. Get after it and start marking. Remember, check that line distance, man, because the diode's dot size is really small. Depending. I mean, Kyle's seen quite a range on his diodes, but still, you're going to be like at least 300 DPI, you'd say, Kyle, on like most materials?
That's a pretty powerful diode, so it might really depend on how it's focused if it's set up for cutting. You could be anywhere. My guess is somewhere between 200 and 320, probably, if I had to guess.
Okay, well, there you go.
That's where most of the diodes I've messed with have been.
Most people's issues with diode lasers is that they get lines in their engraving because they literally are not used to using such tight line distances. They're usually like, used to CO2 line distances or something like that, and they end up with lines because the dot size is so much smaller. So really make sure that you tighten those up. If the rest of you guys in chat haven't bought a diode laser yet, you should go get one because diodes are sick, dude. Did you see that picture I took? I'll probably pull it up today on the stream. Did you see that picture I took of like all the review crap lined up against the wall? I'm so behind. It's not even funny. Sammy Gordon says, got my Monport 20 watt fiber all dialed in with the help of your red dot video. That's nice. Great. I'm glad to hear it. Make sure you do your laser timing too, if you haven't already. You should really do the entire Lightburn for Galvo or EasyCAD 2 crash course, because there's a lot of important stuff in there. But the red dot video certainly is a big one for sure. Nothing's more frustrating than when you're trying to laser something and then the mark goes somewhere the frame was not ideal. Beam it up. We're chatting today, guys. We're talking. If it's a 20 watt actual, then it's probably a quad beam with fixed focus, right? Do a ramp test. Yeah, I'm assuming. I mean, most modern diode lasers come with like a focal stick.
Just about every diode sold now, current diode, not like an old refreshed model or a refurb, comes with fixed focus. Yeah. So they're already going to have it tuned for where the dot size is going to be the most efficient, which is also good if you're cutting.
Yeah. Gary says, hey guys, love the work. Hey Gary, we love you. Thanks for watching Laser Everything. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, bud.
Just catching up. I'm reading. You guys are having a chat. Here we go. Boom. Gary Milstead asks, are there any reasons for having a diode when I have 100 watt CO2? You, especially Gary, have every reason to have a diode because you have 100 watt CO2. The biggest problem with the CO2 laser as a thing that exists, the biggest problem with CO2 laser as a thing that exists is its dot size. CO2 have inherently large dot sizes, and that doesn't matter when you're doing, the entire side of a cutting board. But when you're trying to do photos and you have a finite area, like let's say you had something like the size of like a business card made out of bamboo, or like cherry wood or ply or something like that, and you were trying to mark an image on that, it would look like garbage because your pixels are going to be so big that you're marking at that point. The dots that you're marking are going to be so large, the lines are going to be so far apart that you're just not. I can
illustrate this.
Yeah, you're just not going to have the physical space to pull off any kind of like legitimate detail, unless you start getting into like weird contrast and Photoshop tricks and things like that. But if you're just trying to do it straight, like the normal way, you have a rough time. Yeah, look at that.
You can see on there, that's with my CO2.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's also with dot width correction. So that had every chance in the world to be good.
And that's a fairly big.
This is
big piece.
This is about a little under half the size.
Yep.
So it's already more compressed. You can see more detail with less individual dots.
I can't
and
see
this
the
is
dots
without dot width correction.
Yeah. In fact, hold it right there for a second, Kyle. Let me solo you for a minute, just so we can get like the closest look. Pull back just like a tiny little, just a little bit. Yeah, right there. Yep. So, listen.
I can switch back to the CO2 again too.
Everybody should have a diode. Everybody should have a diode. Unless you don't care about doing precision work on organics.
Yeah, if you don't care, that's one thing. But this was literally the second thing I did on the most recent diode that I'm working on a review on now. Versus this is with a week of tuning on the CO2.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And you can clearly, it's like newsprint almost.
And this is literally a little over double the size.
Right.
In height. So
yeah. And that's not the only reason to get a diode. If you've ever CO2'd bamboo, it's the most inconsistent material on the material list. Diode does not care. Diode will just do a nice black mark on bamboo. So they're different tools for different jobs, guys. Different tools for different jobs. A diode has a place in every single person's workshop. I firmly believe that, especially at their price point. It's not like I'm saying everybody should have a UV and it's a $10,000 purchase. It's $400. Like, go get a diode. Go spend $200 and get the all ferro laser 1, and then you can at least do like pocket-sized organic photo engraving. I just think that's key. I think that's key. So I'm glad you asked that, Gary. It's a good question, and I get it a lot, and I like answering it.
Jack says, by the way, I renewed my light burn and lost Galvo.
Yeah, Jack had found this weird kind of like little loophole where he was using an old license key and it was letting him add Galvo lasers, like an old DSP license key. And apparently he renewed it and that loophole went away, which is not surprising. Not surprising. Michael Rakib says, came here to say hi and press the famous like button. Talk to you later. Michael was here and Michael was gone. Thanks for stopping by, Michael.
Thank you, man.
Ooh, Philip. What's up, Philip? Philip says, hey, guys. Hey, guy.
What up,
How you
dude?
doing? Here we go.
Ooh.
Modern memories. Hey, guys, if I have an 80-watt Mopa, 20-watt fiber, diode, and a 60-watt CO2, would it be worthwhile to get a 5-watt UV? Or would a 3-watt UV fill the gaps for PVC, plastics, etc.? First thing I'm going to say about that, first red flag that I see right away is you listing PVC in that list. Now, it's true. You can surface mark plastics that would otherwise be dangerous to cut or ablate with other lasers. But I want to be really, really clear that you are only to use the UV for surface marking. The second you start to ablate that PVC, you are generating that chlorine gas. Okay, so just because it's able to do the surface marking doesn't mean you can just go ham because it's a UV. So make sure that you're careful with that. That's the first thing I want to say. Second thing I would say, and Kyle is learning this quickly, the depth of field on UV lasers is incredibly shallow. It's incredibly shallow. I mean, like half maybe what you're used to on the fiber. Would you say that's more or less accurate, Kyle?
It might even be less than that. So if you have like, I don't know what it is, but let's just say 4 millimeters on a 110 fiber lens.
Right.
You might have 1.5.
Right.
On a 150.
So
UV lens.
What that means is you want the 5-watt if you plan on doing anything with a curve to it, via projection. And I'm assuming people use projection these days because, and also rotaries are difficult with glass for a variety of reasons. So the 5-watt is very, very useful in those cases. The 3-watt is fine if you are going to stay 100% flat all of the time. I thought that I was when I got the 5-watt, I was like, oh man, I'm getting this beefy UV laser because it was so expensive. I wasn't. I was getting like the bare minimum and I didn't even realize it. So unless you plan on being flat all the time, I highly recommend 5 watts minimum. I particularly, I went for the 5-watt because it's air cooled and I like my air cooled. Is yours air cooled, Kyle? Or do you have yours hooked up to a chiller?
JPT came out with the air cooled 5-watt right after you got yours.
Yeah. So because usually I forget you have a JPT. So we have different.
I have a JPT 5-watt UV. You have an Ingu 5-watt UV.
Yeah.
So some minor differences. We still have to sit down and compare specs at some point, but
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But the air cooled is nice, dude. I like and you were there for Laser. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's not as loud.
Funky donkey.
It's funky donkey. It's funky
Jimmy
donkey.
would say.
If you haven't seen Jimmy's first Laser Everything episode, go watch it. He's really proud of it. He did a good job. But you heard it. The fans aren't that loud on the air cooled UV.
Yours is way quieter than mine. I will say that.
But you shouldn't even have fans because I thought it was water cooled.
Mine's
the chiller.
No. My 5-watt UV is air cooled.
Oh, you got one of the first ones then. I thought
the fans are.
I thought you were saying
the fans are not quiet and they are a bit whiny.
I thought you were saying that the air cooled JPTs came out right after you got your machine.
After you got yours.
Oh, after I got mine. Okay, so you got
yours. The 5-watt JPT was water cooled only, and then they came out with the aired one like a month or two after you got yours or something.
Right? Is it a seal? Do you know? Do you know what
Yeah, it's a 355-5- whatever. It's functionally it's the same as the water cooled one, but it's got an air cooled jacket on it.
Those seals are sick. I'm sad to hear that the fans are whiny though. Is it? It's like can't be worse than the CO2. It's not worse than my Galvo, right?
It's not as bad as your CO2 Galvo.
Yeah,
no.
Okay.
It's your CO2 Galvo is loud. The fans on this are just whiny. It's like the pitch that you get.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever had like a graphics card with like auto fan turn off for silent mode when it's below a certain temperature. Yeah. It's that weird high pitch fan wobble sound you get when the fan's starting up, but it's like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little louder.
Well,
so it's
not ideal.
It's just one of those tones that just bothers you sometimes, but
for sure.
After 15 or 20 minutes, it goes away.
I'm just like completely shocked how many people showed up for this, despite my attempts to warn people that it was going to be horribly boring. And now it's turning into a very productive question and answer session. And I feel like the thumbnail is underselling the value of watching this. So now I'm going to have to go back and change it. But
we'll
Gary says, so now you should convince me to buy a fiber. Easy. Fiber is the only thing that's going to do well with inorganics. Period.
Fiber is bay.
Yeah, fiber is bay, dude.
Especially for engraving. UV is bay for marking. Diode is bay for organics.
Yep.
With detail.
Yep.
CO2 is the fat bay for
we call it the Holy Trinity for a reason, man. Organics, inorganics, and synthetics. Yep. And so if you've got organics covered either by CO2 or diode or both, which is a lot of people, the next step is inorganics, getting your inorganics covered, essentially metals, some rocks and stones. You want to get those inorganics covered next, and because that's a huge marking capability that you don't have at the moment. So fiber is a no-brainer for sure. You definitely want to get a fiber, and then when you get rich off your laser engraving company, and you can, and you probably will, because I mean, come on, we're talking about Gary here. Then you pick up the UV and you cover your synthetics. I mean, that's all there is to say about that, man. That's just the next rung on the ladder. You guys may or may not have seen it, but on the merch shop, we have a shirt that says 10,600, 1064, 355. It's called the Holy Trinity shirt. And the goal is to check off each one of those boxes. You want at least one of each on that. Oh, Philip's doing well. That's good, man. Here we go. Super stash, bro. I like it. Just wanted to say thank you for all of your guys' help. My 50-watt JPT laser is about to arrive tomorrow. and I've been nonstop watching your videos. Any major tips or tricks for setup? Yeah, here's a tip. And it's one that not a lot of people follow, but I highly recommend it. This doesn't just go for you. This goes for everybody watching, and Kyle's going to start nodding his head in a second. Watch the crash course videos all the way through. Everyone in order. Watch them all. There are so many tiny little nuggets of super important, helpful, useful information tucked into every episode, even if it's not relevant to the episode's subject. And this is more especially true for the EasyCAD 2 crash course if you end up starting with EasyCAD and then moving to Lightburn. Because we didn't know what we were doing back then. And so things are a little more organized with the Lightburn for Galvo crash course, but still people scrub through them. They jump to like the 5-minute mark, then the 7-minute mark, then they close the video and go to the next one. And the people that do that are missing out on so much info. So please watch every episode of whatever crash course it is you decide to follow, and watch them all the way through, because there's more in there than I could give you in 2 more hours of this live stream. There's more in there already waiting for you, and all you got to do is let the video play. So that would be my pro tip. You got one, Kyle, for setup? Any major tips and tricks for setup of this new 50-watt JPT fiber?
Take your time and enjoy it. Don't feel like you have to rush. When you rush, you miss stuff, and you kind of miss part of the experience of getting to know your laser. And sometimes that means you think your laser is set up, and you end up missing like vital steps, and you find out a month from now when you're trying to pick apart why you're having a problem that you missed something. Mm-hmm. So kind of goes back to watching the crash course. In fact, I would say watching the EasyCAD and the Lightburn crash courses would be just more so valuable, because there are nuggets tucked into the EasyCAD crash courses, even if you're using Lightburn exclusively, that can help you understand why the laser is doing what it's doing a lot of the time.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good one. Yep, it's a good one.
Definitely where I would go with that.
Smokery12, another name that I've just been seeing like podcast, live streams, comments section. Smokery, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us for a little bit. Smokery,
there's your Volkswagen logo.
Yeah. Jack in the Shop says, I love my CO2. I love my fiber. I like my diode. That's fair. They're slow, dude. And if something messes up, you've wasted so much time. It's not like the fiber where you can just reset and try again, barring not having any more material. They definitely have frustrations, but on the same hand, they've got capabilities that you can't get from any other machine, even the UV. So I would definitely pick one up if you guys haven't, but that's fair, Jack. That's totally fair. Gary says, okay, now convince my wife. If I had like a cool safe in the wall that I could open and just like money would start pouring out of it, like that would be how I would do it. Because that's what that fiber is going to do for you if you pick one up. Everybody should have a fiber.
I'm gonna grab a question real quick.
Yeah, grab them.
Bill says, dumb question. It's not a dumb question.
No such thing.
Yeah. The only dumb question is the one you don't ask. If I have a 20 watt and I run it at 25% power, wouldn't that work the same as a 5 watt? Yes and no. There are differences for various reasons, and the easiest way I can explain it is it's nonlinear. It's going to react differently. It's kind of like if you have a 20-pound sledge and you swing it at 100% power, right? It's not going to be the same as if you have a 100-pound sledge or a 100-pound brick and you drop it with 20% distance to the ground or something. Bad analogy, but
rough math, but you're right. Yeah.
you can get similar results assuming that the dot size is similar, but it's going to affect the material differently for various reasons. Even if you tune for it, it's not going to be exactly 25% power. It's because what you're measuring is the input power into the module, not the output power as well. So that's part of it too. But rant over.
Modern Memories says, thanks guys. I just need to figure out if I can use my CW5000 on my fiber. I'll let you know on the Laser Master Academy. What? You have a water-cooled fiber laser?
Is it a cutter? A fiber cutter?
I don't know. If it is, it shouldn't be using a CW5000. I can tell you that. You need one of the big boys, the big ones.
No. What is it, like CW6 or 7000 for one of those?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard of some older 100 watts that have water jackets on them for it, but
yeah, I want to follow that. I want some answers. Can we just, so I'm kind of going in order, Kyle. Can you keep an eye on the bottom of chat in case we get like immediate responses from people on things that we're talking about? Oh, it's less broken up, and I'll just keep going in order here. Bill Gould says, if I'm doing fine detail, is it better to run millimeters or inches? The answer to that, Bill, is metric always. Imperial can get fucked because it's useless. So learn metric. You won't regret it. Literally, all of these machines, with very, very, very few exceptions, are built and designed in international communities, not in the United States. So their software is geared toward metric use. I would argue most manufacturing in the world is geared towards metric use, and metric makes a shit ton more sense. So drop Imperial, never look back.
I'll add to that too. When you're working with something that has a lot of accuracy needs, if you're working with really small objects on a fiber, for example, fractions of a millimeter are much more easily understood than sub-fractions of an inch.
Ugh. Yeah, what is 3/64 of an inch, bro?
Or smaller, like thousands.
Like, yeah. Ugh.
When you're working,
can we talk about the irony? Can we talk about the irony there too, where when you get small enough on inches, you go to thousandths anyway, and it's like, okay, now you're just dividing an inch by 1,000, so just use metric, because you at that point your brain is working the same way. Yeah, come on, guys, drop Imperial. Everybody stop using Imperial right now. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Alan Hefferman back saying, I've got a 60 watt Mopa arriving Monday. Congrats on the buy. That's very exciting. Drinking from a fire hose now. Thanks for the tips. You're welcome, Alan. You are so welcome. It's always great to have new guys around like you that are active in the community. So thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Jack in the shop says 1/4 millimeter. Philip says no fractions.
No fractions, dude. Decimal for life. Come on, guys. When you were in school, do you not remember being in like middle school and it was like, okay, it's decimal week, and you're like, yes, and then like the next week they're like, it's fractions week, and I was like, I'm gonna kill myself. You know what I'm talking about? Like come on, fractions suck, dude. Nobody likes fractions. Boom.
I just got an update on my merch delivery.
Oh yeah, where is it?
It's gonna be
here. On you. Wait, oh no, we got a new thing. You got a new thing. Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be here Sunday. It was originally slated to be here Tuesday. It's apparently moving faster than expected. It'll be here Sunday.
Good. Well, I'm gonna do like an unboxing episode. I think you guys can kind of see right now. We'll preview. I did finally get my merch, but I'm not going to show it all off yet because I've got another box coming. I got enough so I could wear my merch 7 days a week. That way, if I have to jump on camera, I'm like, I've always got something laser everything on. Funky Donkey, and
sporting Captain Jimmy's Funky Donkey shirt, baseball style.
And so once that second box gets here, I'm gonna just run it through the wash real quick. We'll do an unboxing, maybe like a fashion show. Should be chill. Show you guys what the stuff actually looks like. Damien says, true that. Got my 50 watt last week, and those videos are GOLD gold. Mine is running sweet and true. That's what we love to hear. Yep, we love to hear it. Super Stash says, thank you. I very much appreciate your advice. Most welcome, sir. Keep the stash going. In reference to my joke about the stupid safe in the wall, Love says we would all love that type of safe. I think we would. Sammy says, I have now a Laser Pecker 2. X-Tool D1, 10 and 20 watt, a 20 watt Monport fiber. Now looking for a CO2. Just don't know what to get. Really just want to be able to cut clear acrylic really well on a budget. Go OhmTech. Go OhmTech, Sammy. You don't seem like a stranger to lasers. You'd probably survive it okay. They need a little elbow grease to get them up and running. I would not buy a white label CO2. I think Kyle will second me on that.
Don't buy a blue poo.
No blue poo. Okay, just pick up an OhmTech.
My review's not out yet, but don't do it.
OhmTechs are the butt of the joke in the laser community, guys, but it's better than the no brand name stuff. Okay, so just pick up an OhmTech.
If you don't want to spend double, and you're willing to put in some elbow grease, it's a good value.
Yeah, for sure. Smokery 12 with an interesting question. What do you think about my school buying an Epilog laser? I think that's dope. I think that's super cool. I think that your school is exactly who should be buying an Epilog laser, right? It's a big institution with fat wads of cash in its pocket and a budget to spend. So they're Epilog's ideal customer. So I think that's sick.
They also just came out with a it's like a cheaper
it's a version of like the
one.
Edge, right?
Instead of 40 grand, you're going to spend 10 grand to get a brand new machine. Yeah. It still comes with I think it's a 25 or a 30 watt RF tube, which is basically the same as its more expensive cousin, but they're becoming more affordable, or at least they have a more affordable model now.
Yeah. Something. Something to look at. I'd probably still get an OhmTech though, because you have a gigantic Ruida community backing you for support instead of having to rely on Epilog support, which is nice.
If you need less variables in the educational space, you just need it to work, that might be worth the extra money. It depends on what you want.
Right. Boba says the Holy Trinity is where it's at. I've been using the UV for 2 weeks now, and none of the other machines can do what the UV does. Highly recommend. That's true. I mean, the diode is the only one that comes close to breaking out of the like IR visible spectrum, like section of the light spectrum, right? UV is well outside of it, and so it's gonna have different absorption rates. It's gonna have different effects. And they're very, very cool machines. So that's super dope. Joe Johnson, finally, someone is here to dick around. So glad, Joe. So glad you could come. Boom, Jack in the shop. Thank you. I started metric with my first CNC. Smart man. That's the way to go. Yeah, Philip, you called this one out. No fractions.
Yep.
But boom. What's your trick for frosty look on glass from a 5 watt UV? Here's what I like. Did you use my settings there, Kyle, on that? No, you so you came up with something different. On mine with a 175 lens, I really like 33 nanosecond pulse width, 30 kilohertz frequency with 0.025 line distance. I don't know where the speed's at. Like
there it goes.
300 or something. Yeah. Maybe like 300 millimeters a second, somewhere in there. I don't recall off the top of my head. I don't have my UV with me at the moment, so I can't look. But
I did this one at 0.025 line distance, 400 speed, 1 Q pulse, 40 frequency on my JPT 5 watt.
1 nanosecond on the pulse width? Dude, weird. Weird. What was the frequency?
40.
We need to sit down and both be using our lasers at the same time. So
I'm identifying that they're definitely different and they react differently.
Yeah.
A higher Q pulse ironically turns down the power.
That's a for another day.
Yes. Science.
Love says, I was going to mention that I see you finally received merch. That's great. Did you get your white sweatshirt? I did, and I washed it, and I didn't like color stain it in the wash, which I'm very proud of. Also, let me just for anybody who's wondering, speaking of merch, I'm like hot. For anybody who's wondering, these definitely one size up. If you do pick up merch, get it one size up. We were theorizing last time. I can confirm now. I did these one hot wash out of the box, and they shrunk a size for sure. So I would get a size bigger than you think you need, 100%. Bill is saying the P20 doesn't have an enclosure option. Any recommendations? Get some goggles. Get a pair of KTIs from No IR. Would be good. Or you can get one of the tents. The tents are really big right now. People seem to like the tents. So if you want, you can pick them up on Amazon. They're like $60, $70 for like one of the little generic diode tents.
You can build one if you're feeling crafty for the cost of cardboard or plywood.
Oh yeah, Beam It Up made that suggestion and posted a link which didn't show up because links are blocked on the channel. But they are there. We should get one of those on the buying guide.
I think I have one coming at some point to try out. So
any experience with the X-Tool 1310 nanometer laser upgrade for metal? I think it's 1064. That's what I remember seeing. I don't know about a 1310. So they reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try it, and I was like, yes. This happens to me and Kyle all the time. People reach out to us all the time. They're like, do you want to try our thing and review it for the channel? And we're like, sure, that sounds dope. Get it in the mail ASAP. And then they just like ghost. They just like go away for like 2 months. And then we'll like 2 months later, they'll be like, hey, do you want to try this thing? And it's like, yeah, we said yes like 2 months ago. And you stopped replying to our emails. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I feel like they move through customer service reps really fast. I think their turnover rate's high on that. But neither here nor there. We're trying to get one. So the second one of us has one of them in our hands, we will be talking about that on the channel because we're certainly interested in it. But I have not used a short IR being like less than 10,000 nanometers. I've not used a short IR like diode module yet. Alan says, can you elaborate a bit on the elbow grease needed for an ohm tech? Can you start on this a little bit, Kyle, with just your experience with the blue poo? But and then I'll come back and I'll mirror you on what I needed to do throughout the lifetime of my ohm tech, and we'll kind of meet in the middle. I'm gonna go drop this real quick because it's like 80 degrees in here. It was super cold earlier, super hot. So anyway, take it away, blue poo.
I got Alan. So for reference, my blue poo behind me, the white and blue machine, that was, I think, $4,100 plus tax, free shipping. So by the time it was after tax, it was like $4,500 or something to my door. It took them 2 weeks to get here, and it didn't even have to come through customs. It came from like Ohio or something. The inherent problem I had with it, it worked great for a couple of months, and then stuff started to break. It did come with a genuine W2 RISI tube or Recce tube, 90 100 watt tube. But the problem that started was it was advertised as a 110 watt. It came as a 220, but it came with a transformer adapter, right? So now I have this like sketchy voltage transformer sitting next to my machine that I have to run everything through. And then basically things started to die slowly. First, my 24 volt power supply started to die on me. It held out just long enough for my 40 volt power supply to die, which was what was pushing my drivers. My CO2 tube power supply started to give me power fluctuations, and the 24 volt died with it. So I couldn't even power on the controller to like look at settings or anything. So after rewiring half the machine and swapping every power supply over to a 110 volt so I could just use wall power and skip the power transformer. Everything started to work, but then because the voltages were fluctuating, it burned out my red dot laser, so I don't have an ability to align right now. The alignment came way off. It was functional, but it was like it was hitting the bottom corner of every lens, or mirror and lens. So after aligning and fixing everything, and then the power supply is dying and having to move it around and flip stuff around and rewire it, I had to redo the alignment again because I had moved it around so much while fixing it. It was just a cluster. Contacting the company, they were like, "Hey, what's up?" And they were basically like, "Yeah, what's going on?" Told them what happened. They asked for a video. I showed them a video of me doing the multimeter testing on all the power supplies and attempting to run the machine, but you can't run something that's giving stuff like quarter voltage. And that turned into them saying, "Okay, yeah, you have to replace the power supplies." And that prompted me to say, "Okay, I'd like to use my 1-year warranty." They asked for my order number and said they had to verify, and then they never responded again for a week and a half until I prompted them to say, "Okay, is my warranty valid? You sold me a 1-year warranty." So they said, "Oh, yes, it's valid." And I'm like, "Cool. Can you tell me what I need and what I need to do to get it here?" And they said I just had to pay for shipping. And then they never talked to me again. So, and I prompted them 2 weeks later and they did not respond. So that's why I'm so looking forward to the review on this machine. But it's not fun. At the end of the day, I'm glad it happened to me and not one of you guys, because I'm okay with just dealing with it and it being down. It's whatever. But I don't want it to happen to somebody who's trying to get like a shop off the ground or a business off the ground. You know what I mean? So if I can stop somebody from having that experience, I'm all for it. Now, that said, if you go with a reputable brand with a solid warranty, if something breaks, you're at least covered. And stuff breaks when you're shipping stuff around the world and back and forth around the country. You're bound to have stuff break. Yeah, go duck hunting. Yep. So in any event, what you should expect to do if you get a budget machine, alignment, no matter what. Sometimes that just happens because of shipping. So plan on doing an alignment. If you're getting strange fluctuations with power, that could be a problem, and you may have to whip out a multimeter. So get yourself a $20 or $30 multimeter. Alex did a review on one, and he liked his. It is probably the best tool you could have outside of having, a way of measuring things. So it's just electrically measuring things. Z height alignment.
I'm over here making comments on the things you're saying, and I realized, because I checked my mic and I was like, oh, like the mic's not muted. I guess I wasn't muted that whole time because my nose is stuffy. I don't want to hear people to hear me blow my nose and stuff. I did it in software. I was muted in software. Right. Yeah, you were like, whip out the multimeter. I was like, whip it out. Then you were like, a tool to measure something, and I was like, yeah, dude, like get a caliper. Just sitting here talking to myself. But dude, lenses, mirror, just throw the ones away that it comes with. We have
it'll get you going, but at the end of the day, they're not selling you top of the line lenses, and top of the line lenses on a CO2 gantry machine are cheap. The difference in cost are like $5 or $10.
Yeah.
And it makes a world of difference. You're not getting it.
Yeah. So just buying guide, lasereverything.net/buying guide. We have a bunch of them there. But yeah, I just want to say lenses, mirrors, and then I don't know if you remember this, Kyle, but way back in the day, all of the water lines in my OhmTech blue. You remember that?
Yeah.
So get some good silicone tubing. Measure
that's on the buying guide too.
Yep, inner diameter, outer diameter. Make sure they match, and real hose clamps. Get real hose clamps. Every budget machine is going to have those hoses zip tied onto their little connectors, and it's just, it's fine for a little while, but eventually that stuff starts to degrade with the water running through it. Like bleach, RV coolant. People put all kinds of weird shit in their machines. Just put real.
Don't use that stuff, by the way.
Yeah, don't use that stuff.
Know what you're putting in your coolant, because it'll increase the conductiveness of the water.
You put one thing in there, dude: distilled water. Period. But yeah. Real hose clamps is really my point. Get fresh tubing, real hose clamps, lenses, mirrors, grease. Fucking God, just get
white lithium grease.
Yeah, I was gonna short of brake cleaner. Clean off the nasty junk that is all over that machine when it arrives. And again, we're talking about budget machines here because they just use garbage. It just sucks dirt up like a vacuum cleaner. Get rid of all of it and then re-grease everything that had grease on it with white lithium grease. I like the Lucas brand, and you get it on Amazon. Again, pretty sure we have a link to that in the buying guide.
You can get it at any auto parts store, Amazon,
yeah,
freaking everywhere. It's everywhere. It's a really popular brand.
Yeah, the white lithium is dope, and I think that's about it. That's about it. It's not like you're ripping out the wiring box and hot wiring it. It's not like that.
No. Only I had to do that.
Blue poo.
The other thing is make sure that move your head from the middle to the back left to the front left to the back right to the front right. Make sure that your nozzle is the same distance to the bed on all four corners and in the middle.
Not that we're going to get into how to fix that right now, but
we're not going to get into it. But having your bed at a different tilted height will absolutely screw up your engravings.
Yeah, that would be a hardcore.
Just so you know.
Hardcore laser everything episode for sure.
Just know that it'll screw it up and you'll have to fix it if that's the case.
Yeah.
But at least you'll know it's broken.
Yep.
And you'll know why your stuff isn't coming out the way you want.
Really quick, this is the vintage sports tee. I don't think we've seen one of these yet. I think I'm the only person on staff that bought one. But
yeah,
they're pretty nice, dude. They look good.
I like it.
Got a nice look to it. If you get any other version of this that has a logo on it, the logo's on the back, and then you get a pocket laser everything up here instead. But it's kind of cool. I like it. Yeah. It's a good one.
Sorry for my little rant session there about my blue poo back there.
Oh, bro, while you were talking,
I thought it was relevant.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, you're good.
But blue poo t-shirt idea. Blue poo t-shirt. Just a blue. It's only available in blue.
We could make it a magnet and stick it to the laser.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to be Arial font, just blue poo, kind of off center, maybe a little tilted.
Yeah.
I like it. Wow, chat just keeps going.
Yeah.
Ben says, I have the 50 watt ohm tech and it was good to go out of the box. 6 months, no issues. Good, Ben.
Nice.
Always happy to hear a success story. No problem with that. Are challenge coins worth engraving due to the long run time? Depends on your laser, how deep you're going to go, what you're marking, what you're selling them for. There's a
how
lot
deep you want to go with them.
There's a lot of questions there, Nelson, and we could again talk about that for a very long time. But
the long and the short of it is you can make it worth your time.
You can make it worth your time. Make it worth your time. I wouldn't even pose it, it's like a hypothetical. I would just say if you're going to do them, make sure that you make it worth your time. Is the technical capability there in the machines to actually make it worth your time? Yes. There are ways you can do coins fast enough to make it worth your time. And then the inverse of that would be everything's worth your time if you charge enough money. So
is the market going to bear the cost of what you want to charge for those coins with the amount of time you want to put into them? Or can you optimize your time better to make it more economical?
Boba is asking, can we have a beta for the UV library? That is another interesting question. One of the things that I've wanted for a long time, which has now materialized, is for Kyle to have a UV. Because with the CO2 settings library and the fiber settings library, we could bounce those settings back and forth until we settled on, between me and the staff members, until we settled on numbers that worked for everybody. And up until
we can validate them, basically.
Very, very, very recently, I was the only person with a UV. So now that Kyle has his, we're going to be on calls. We're going to be working things out, comparing settings, specs on machines, seeing where the differences are, seeing what's difference between our lenses, what kind of like power outputs we're getting, things like that. Once we can dial a few things in and just have like a core, even the Galvo CO2 settings library is up, and that has like 5 settings in it. Once I can validate a handful of settings so that I can have something that isn't just going to generate more problems than it solves, right? Then we'll absolutely throw it up. It should be nearish future. So that's actually on the table now. It was not on the table before. Now it is on the table. But the main thing we don't want to do, we have to be careful, because if we make a choice and put out content or material or settings or whatever that cause problems, then we spend more of our time trying to answer those questions and work through those problems instead of moving on to making new content or exploring new themes or ideas or techniques. And we want to keep things fresh. We want to keep putting out content on a regular basis for you guys. So we just need to be tactical about when we decide to release things to make sure that we're not generating more issues than we are solving by taking an action.
The long and the short of that too is UVs from model to model are very different, and they respond differently from brand to brand and model to model. It's not quite so simple as converting the settings, because they have very different behaviors from frequency and Q pulse range. And when you're working with a much shorter band of frequencies and Q pulse versus a normal fiber, where you have a lot more functionality to move things around and convert, it's not simple. And actually, we were talking about it before, Alex has a completely different frequency and Q pulse range than me, and mine might be acting in the inverse of yours in terms of setting adjustment. So for all we know, we could end up with 2 UV libraries for 2 different brands of lasers.
That's true. There may be like
more
a GPT.
complications.
Yep. Totally.
So it's going to take time on that. And hopefully we can get to that soon.
Bill Gould says, I'm an Army veteran that would like to start a YouTube channel to chronicle this laser journey in hopes that other veterans will be interested in laser stuff and help them deal with PTSD, etc. Any suggestions? My first suggestion, audio first. People will watch bad video for hours, but if the audio is not good, no one's gonna stick around. So make sure you have really nice audio before you start. 2, provide value. If you don't provide value, no one's gonna watch. People don't care about you. Nobody cares about me. The relationships that you build with people over time, you can end up with people that care about you. I have made a lot of friends in this industry because of the channel, but they certainly didn't start watching because they wanted to be friends. they watched because they wanted something, right? Help people get what they want, and that will help you be successful. And my last suggestion would be keep it just as short as humanly possible. Long content, with the exception of, we do these live streams. We do them fairly regularly, but we do them for the super fans, I would say, the Laser Everything super fans that actually like us and want to hang out. But if this is all we did, we wouldn't have any subscribers. So the 40
short form, short attention span. That's just the world we live in now.
That's the world we live in, man. Start a TikTok. Everybody will sit around all day and say TikTok's dumb and it's for little girls. Guess what? Everybody's got a TikTok now. That's just a fact. And the people that say that they don't are like probably lying to you. So just start a TikTok, man. Like, just try to put value out there, try to help the community. And if you want to attack it from that like veterans angle, you want to attack it from the like, this is assisting me with my PTSD and helping me heal from this and helping me cope with this. That is a very unique and interesting prospect for providing value to an audience, right? I thank our veterans for their service. That's not something we do here. I'm definitely not gonna start a video series on Laser Everything about how this can help with PTSD because I'm not educated on it. I can't provide that value, but maybe that's value that you can provide. So look at it from that angle, about how you can be different, about how you can be yourself, and about how you can provide value to people in a way that not everybody else can. And try to really, really niche down and focus on that angle. And I think then you can have some success. So that's 3 tips, I guess. That stupid fire thing.
I'll give you a tip while Alex enjoys that fire truck. The only other tip I can provide too is enjoy what you're doing. If you're sitting there grinding at it and you're hating what you're doing, hours and hours and hours working on a video that you want other people to enjoy, it's going to make it harder for you to create something that they're going to want to watch and enjoy, right? So you want it to be for you as much as you want it to be for other people, or else it's just going to be a grind and you're not going to enjoy doing it. So put yourself forward with that, knowing that whatever you end up doing for your channel, do what you love, do what you enjoy. It should be positive for you.
Yeah, totally. And don't expect it to be a business right away. This isn't less of a tip and more of a warning, but this job sucks. It's so much work. It literally, it's
a labor of love.
Dude, it's a labor of love. The day that I started this YouTube channel, and started taking it seriously, because it was a joke to me for a little while before I was like, oh my God, maybe there's something here. But the day that I decided to start taking this seriously, I've worked 14, 16, 18-hour days, no joke, pretty much nonstop, from then until now. And it's been almost a year now, I'd say, Kyle, about a year.
Yeah.
So,
you started picking up on the streams more like August last year.
Dude, video editing takes a long time. Researching this stuff, making sure that your information is accurate, takes a long time. And testing, fixing problems. There are so many. Every single video, and Kyle listens to me complain about this all the time. Every video, there is a technical problem that is interfering with me just sitting down and making the video. Whether it's something wrong with my computer, my video editing software, one of my lasers, an online service, just something always gets in the way. And it is virtually nonstop. So be good at problem solving, and if you really want to do this hard and not just as a hobby, make sure that you are ready to do some work, because we work a lot. Kyle and I both now, and the rest of our team pretty much work nonstop. So that'd be my last little, just want to throw that into. And the firehouse is going again. I'm gonna mute myself.
So ASMR said 5K down the drain from my blue poo. I'd go duck hunting after that. Yep. I mean, it's kind of, little rant session. People have called us shills ever since we started reviewing stuff. And the reality is if we were going to shill for something, it wouldn't be a piece of crap, because we don't want you guys getting something junky. Because if you think about it, we offer support and we spend our time helping people for a living. We want you guys to succeed. So why would we shoot ourselves in the foot? Yeah, So you'll see exactly how non-biased I am when I do that review, because man, it's going to be glorious.
So I just checked really quick, just because I want to shut this argument down once and for all. We have over 300 videos on the channel. The gear review playlist has 15 videos in it as of the SFX update video. So that's actually pretty good math, right? That's 15 into 30 is 2, so 20. There are 20 times more non-review related videos than there are review related videos. So just throwing a quick stat out there. I also wanted to point out really quick that Jack in the shop said, I got a message asking if I would like to try an enclosure for the diode laser. My channel only has 380 subs. The diode companies will literally just, like, I don't even know how they're making money, because literally if anybody posts anything anywhere about lasers, like they're like, you're a celebrity, here, have stuff. Kyle and I delete five emails a day from,
if only you guys knew
no name
how much
brand,
stuff we just
brandless junk. So cool, Jack, you should take it, but there's a lot of that, so I just want to comment on that.
Oh yeah, make sure when you do your review on it that you disclose that it was provided to you, because that is an FTC law.
That is an FTC law. Goosey, hello, thanks for all the support you are giving us in the hobby / laser engraving business. I am a hobbyist and will hope this supplements my income during retirement. That's awesome. And you can absolutely supplementing income is easy. Replacing income is hard. You could certainly supplement, man. You find out 1 or 2 or 3 things that you really enjoy doing, and you get freaking perfect at it, and you're done. That's all you really have to do. Easier said than done, right? But absolutely doable, certainly.
Yes.
So no sweat there. You can definitely do that 100%, and you'll have the Laser Everything community here to support you along the way. Really quick, before we continue down this never-ending list of comments, I'm so glad you guys are so talkative today. This is awesome. I do have a surprise. It's Jimbo. What's up, Jimmy?
Mr. Funky Donkey.
What's up? Hey, nice shirt.
Just, you like that one?
No, I was talking about Kyle.
The Funky Donkey. Couldn't get your camera to work?
No, I'm half asleep still.
No, well, we'll mess around with it another time.
It's fine. I got it going.
The webcam still looks good with the better lighting, though.
Oh, crap.
Oh, you did? You thought you were on the main?
You didn't even know. Sorry.
It's all good, dude. I don't care. I'm just glad you're here.
We just love that you're hanging out with us.
Bill Gould is asking, parts break. What is good to have on hand just in case, belts, hoses, etc.?
That's a good question.
That is a really good question. I don't really keep parts
lenses
on hand. There you go. That's a good one.
They're cheap.
Yep.
And they're easy to screw up if you forget to clean them, or if you do something really dirty and do something back to back. It's very easy to burn through them. So extra lenses, extra mirrors.
And if you chew up a CO2 lens and then your shop is down for 3 days while you wait for your Amazon Prime shipping to show up with the replacement, you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt, because it would have been a $30 investment extra to make sure that didn't happen. That's a freaking solid answer, Kyle. Really good.
Yep.
Really, really good. Grab a roll of silicone tubing in case.
Yeah, it's like $5 or something.
Get those hose clamps. I mean, these are projects that I've just done for my laser, and I've had extra, so I've got it in the shop now, and I guess I don't really think about it that much. But it's cheap stuff. So belts, I don't know. Belts might be a little
belts
much.
Don't get replaced that frequently. Even power supplies aren't really a frequent failure if you have a good one.
If you don't get a good one,
if you're running a shop with like 10 CO2 lasers and they're all the same wattage, yeah, absolutely have an extra power supply, because you're going to probably use it at some point. But
right. But if you've got one, it's like, I mean, the opposite of what I just said, but it's a 2-day wait.
That's like it's also a $200 investment of something that's going to sit around too,
that you may never need. So judgment call on that, but the lenses for sure. The lenses are a no-brainer. Jack says, I am still running the first set mirrors, the first set of mirrors and lenses. 3 years in, I will look into that. A 3-year-old CO2 laser lens. Yeah, a 3-year-old CO2 laser lens is very impressive.
It's like a unicorn.
Jimmy, how long did you wait until you started? One more, dude. That was the EOS webcam. You got to go to the mirror box. How long did it take? Oh, man, he disconnected. I'm like asking him a question. All right. Well, we'll touch base with Jimmy when he gets back.
He yeeted himself into hiding.
He did. Ben E. Hey, just wanted to add my appreciation to you guys and the Discord. Guys, the Discord just got a huge upgrade. You should go check it out. It's really cool. I was on a couple months ago, Laser Engraving, and I've since moved out of the bedroom to a shop down the street. Ben, congratulations, man. That is
serious moves.
That's serious, man. That's big, epic moves right there. Digital cake for you, sir, because that's a tier. That's a level up. That's a big level up for sure. So congratulations on the move, Ben, and thanks for the support. Here we go. Goosey, I've seen a lot of videos of coin or engravings that actually look 3D. Any way you can do a video or demonstration on how to do that? Yes. I've been exceptionally busy because it's Q4 essentially right now, and that means gear reviews. Everybody wants to talk to me at the moment, and so it's kind of put like a hold on like the hard tutorial stuff. But the second January 1st rolls around, nobody wants anything to do with me again until July. So I will have a lot more time to get into like heavy tutorial stuff around then. I'm just trying to be honest. We'll definitely be publishing tutorials between now and then, but I don't want to overpromise either, because we do have a lot of stuff to cover between now and then. So this is a very long way of me saying, yes, we will absolutely cover it. It will be part of the Lightroom for Galvo crash course, because they have 3D height map engraving with STLs, or not STLs, grayscale height maps files built into Lightroom. It's built into Lightroom. It's a Lightroom function. So we'll absolutely be doing a video on that as part of the Lightroom for Galvo crash course series. I'm just not sure when it's going to come out. The very next one that we're doing is barcodes and QR codes. Just super easy. It's a quick one. I just need to sit and do it. And then after that, Lightburn camera, which I already have shot. It's 100% shot. I just need to edit. And then maybe we can look into that. So we're about 3 episodes away on that. I just don't know how often those episodes are going to come out between now and then. So, and there's another truck. What? Oh my God, is the whole city burning down? Do I need to go? So yeah, anyway, yes, is the short answer. Yes, it's coming. Did Boba the Fets re-ask this question? Is there any way we could get a beta version of the UV settings library? In case you missed it, Boba, in case you left and came back, we did answer that for you, and we're working on it. So we'll be having that out sooner than later. Verified says, are the CloudRay lasers a reliable company to buy from? Looking at CloudRay JPT LP 50 watt. CloudRay has had a lot of issues this year. In my 2021 video titled Which Fiber Laser to Buy in 2021, I recommended CloudRay because I buy parts from them all the time. And that turned out to be a mistake because many members of the community, since that video has been published, have come to Kyle and said, basically the main thing is their listings don't match what's inside when they show up, whether it's power supplies, laser sources, galvo heads, the power supply units. Yeah, there's something is different than what they paid for. And it's happened a lot, like a lot.
Issue number 2 is they, like, 19 out of 20 people that reported to us that they bought a CloudRay power supply. I'm just throwing out arbitrary numbers, but it was literally almost every single person. It worked for them for a day, or it was dead on arrival, the power supply. If it worked for them on day one, by the end of the first month, the power supply had started to fail. It was providing inconsistent voltage, and it was causing the galvo head to basically pretend you're holding your arm out and your blood pressure drops and you start to black out. You're not going to be holding your arm out. You're going to be drooping. That's what the galvo mirrors were doing. It was drooping and causing the engrave to have weird, crazy lines going through it as the fiber engraved. So it wasn't just a parts swap issue. It was also like 9 out of 10 power supply units that were provided in those lasers were also failing and dropping like flies within the first week or month.
Yeah. So kind of another long answer for a short question, but no, avoid that. If you're looking for reliable lasers, please go check out the buying guide. They're lasers we've had our hands on. They're lasers whose makers we have active relationships with and can help get things fixed, get things replaced, solve problems, or whatever else. Like we talk to them on a regular basis, so we can assist if you find yourself in a crappy position. So you can find those over at, again, it's lasereverything.net/buying guide. And that's stuff that we have active relationships with the manufacturers. We've reviewed them. We've opened these machines up. We've used them. We know their flaws. We know their strong points. So that's where I would start if I were you, would be the buying guide. I'm always going to point people there. Jack says, so much for a nothing video. A lot of good stuff in this one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix the thumbnail. I thought that I was gonna come on here to screw around, and that did not happen. Bill Gould says, so no hopes in there being laser groupies. No, there are no groupies. I don't know anyway. I'm married. Kyle's not. Maybe Kyle's hiding some groupies back there in the blue poo.
I'm less than 3 months shy of an 11-year relationship, and no groupies.
Yeah, I don't know. Jimmy should be here. Jimmy's the one that would have them. If any of us had them, it would probably be him. Jimmy needs help getting back in. Can you take the next one for me real quick?
Yeah. Like Philip said, real fans, hit that like and subscribe button.
Oh, guys, if you haven't smashed the like button, please smash it hard.
Yeah. Yep. Make it hurt. Bill Modern says maybe you can team up together. Reach out.
Yeah, guys, connect. We have a really
Bill says he wants friends on Facebook.
We have a really powerful episode coming up that I can't really talk about yet. But it was about how two people met on the LMA, and now they're in a position where they're involved in a startup, and they have a chance at winning a $1 million like venture capital prize, essentially.
Big things.
And it all started with them teaming up on the LMA. So that's gonna actually, that episode will be out Monday in the morning. So if you guys if you guys are interested in hearing that story, I'd love to have you by for that. That'll be up Monday morning, like first thing, crack of dawn. So definitely keep an eye out for that one.
The crickets are asleep.
Good.
It's pouring rain. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I had to reboot the whole computer, otherwise it wasn't going to come on. So.
Yeah, you still look a little squishy. We're gonna have to talk after the episode, but at least it's on the right camera now.
I know. I checked. I'm like, okay, that's the right one.
Yeah.
Blazer of Love Creation says, and that's how my business name came about, a labor of love.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
And Miranda confirms you both worked from the hospital after having a baby. Definitely not a lot of work. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. True story. Even if I'm not here, guys, and I'm not like actively talking to you, I mean, Miranda will vouch for that. I literally just am constantly working. It never really stops, which is okay because I love my job so much. But it is an incredible amount of work for sure.
Yep. Courtney will say the same to me. Wendy says good vibes.
What's up, Wendy?
Hi, Wendy.
Good to see you. Love says Jimmy and his crickets in the house. No crickets today. I don't hear any. I don't hear any crickets.
It was pouring rain. They said, they're
hiding.
They bailed.
Miranda's
no background singers for Jimmy.
Miranda says, Jimmy, where's the cricket?
Somebody, Rodrigo from Chile.
And Goosey says, hey, Jimmy. That's actually my name, too.
Hey, nice.
Learned something about Goosey today.
Exactly.
And Jack in the Shop, of course. I was just going to ask about the crickets. Everybody wants to know, dude. They're upset.
They're asleep. Their man was pouring rain. It just stopped.
Love says, when we see Jimmy, we think crickets. And Miranda coming back in again, reiterating, make sure you guys smash the like button. It really does help. Engagement helps big time. YouTube is looking at live videos while they're live for engagement. So the more chat comments that we have, the more people hitting the like button or the dislike button, believe it or not, the more any of that happens, the more engagement we get while we're actually live, the more people YouTube will put these streams in front of, so that we can help grow the Laser Everything community. So, that's super cool. Dustin, just starting with a laser and a cricket, hoping it goes well. Good luck with the cricket, man. I never got used to mine, and I never got good at it, and it's got about a quarter inch of dust. Just kind of settled on the roof of it now because it's been that long since I've opened it. But I wish you the best
Jimmy's
luck.
cricket?
Yeah, dead in the water.
Dead in the water.
Yeah. But glad to hear that you're using laser too, man. I think you'll find the lasers much easier than dealing with the vinyl after you get to know the laser. But wishing you the best, Dustin.
Also, don't laser the vinyl.
Yeah.
This is cool. I'm always surprised. Rodrigo says, hey, watching from Chile. Did somebody call that out already?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. That's dope, man. The Laser Everything community is worldwide, and I've always been stoked on that. I always kind of felt like it was going to be this local or domestic, I guess, if you want to say, thing. But we have viewers from literally every corner of the world, and that's just the most badass thing ever. He says, I just want to thank you guys. I've learned so much from you. We're at your service, man. We're here to help. That's our job. And we care about you guys succeeding. So that's why we're here. Philip dropping in. Can a 10-watt diode engraver make a small sign with a V-groove cut similar to a CNC routed sign? V-groove. I'm not a CNC guy, so I don't know what a V-groove is. Hold on. I got to Google it. I'm going to Google it right now. CNC
V-groove, it's a router bit, but it's at a 45-degree angle, so you can cut a V-groove into something.
Like a chamfered edge?
No,
it's like taking a sharp tip shovel and dragging it through the sand at the beach.
Yep, there you go. Just like that's what it looks like.
You can make a groove, but it will not be a V groove, at least not flat edged. Think of it like a digital sine wave, right? You're gonna get sharp corners with your engrave.
Yeah, I'd say laser engraving is more like a photon router. It's more like routing.
That's what it is as a router. I think he's talking about.
You're drawing with pixels, and pixels are square. Think of it that way.
Yeah.
So you won't get a V groove. You can get V groove like if you get really creative, I guess. But it's not going to be what you're looking for.
What you're thinking.
Looking at a router.
Yeah, for sure. Darren Widener's here. Howdy, Darren. Good to see you.
Howdy.
Darren's a frequenter. Jack in the Shop says Jimmy Cricket.
I like him too. He's cool.
Gary wants to know, is there a locator to find laser owners, hobbyists, say in my area, Tennessee? I'd also like to offer my services. I own a 5-foot by 9-foot CNC. Holy shit. And Jesus. A 24 by 36 inch CNC. Gary, the best place for you to be is the Laser Master Academy, which does in fact tell you if other members are nearby, if they have their location turned on, and most do. And so that would be a very easy way to find some local people.
I found out I'm not the only person in my state, and I thought it was.
Yeah, and so there you go. And then The other thing is we have like boards and special things on there where you can reach out and offer those services to other people. And I'm sure that the other members of the Laser Master Academy community would love to talk to you about that. That community, if you guys haven't been inside the Laser Master Academy, is literally just fucking people helping each other 24/7, offering each other's tools, each other's knowledge, each other's advice, business tips, like just everything. Like they are so committed. The people that, because they're spending their money to be there, they're paying their hard-earned money to support the channel. And because they are spending their money to be a part of this community, the quality of the content there, the user-generated content there is just like unimaginably high. So that's where I would recommend you go, Gary. You can find out how to sign up over at masters.lasereverything.net if you're not already on there. And I think you'd get a lot of value out of hanging out there.
I have an answer for Philip there.
Oh, on the step.
So I'm going to show you a 3D engraving that I did, if I can get it to focus.
Oof.
There it goes.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That is a koi pond from the top down using a grayscale height map. Now you can see that there's nice rounded corners on that. However, if I grab my Top Gun coin that I did, you'll see that it's very sharp edges. The only difference there is the quantity of passes and how you arrange it. Now, at a microscopic level, you're going to have a ledge on it like you do on this one. But the difference is it's doing it with such granularity on such a small pass count that you can do that. The problem is to do it this way, right? It's super inefficient, and you're going to be at it for a long time if you want to like a deep V groove. If you wanted to do it, you could, but I'm willing to bet you'd probably be better off doing it with a 3D Galvo and not a 2D Galvo or even a 2.5D, because Lightburn, as of yet, isn't really capable of working with 2.5 or 3D style engravings outside of grayscale marking, which means now you have to figure out how to get that design the way you want it in a grayscale height map so that you can't really resize those very comfortably. So it's kind of touchy. If you're looking for a V groove and you want it to be not hours of engraving, and especially if it's going to be bigger than like a credit card size, you're probably better off grabbing like a small CNC, doing the laser engraving after doing the V groove in it or something like that.
For sure. To
be perfectly honest.
And
that's all I got.
Goosey says, just join the LMA. Seriously, guys, so in order to make Laser Everything work, and I promise not to stay on this for too long because there's other things to talk about, but in order to make Laser Everything work, 5 people give every moment of their free time in order to work on this project and make it a reality. There's me, Miranda, Kyle, Boyce, and Amanda. And we have volunteers like Jimmy too. We try to do things to help Jimmy set up, like his new studio setup with his lights and stuff like that, to make sure that we can keep doing premium content. So even the volunteers, we are, we don't write Jimmy a paycheck, but we still try to give back because Jimmy's always out there. He's always in the community. He's always helping people. He's always being involved. And that stuff is possible because of our members on the LMA. So thank you for signing up, Goosey. This channel would not exist in the capacity that it does right now without those people. It just wouldn't. And I know I say this all the time. You guys hear me say it all the time. But it makes such a big difference. You want to buy a piece of merch to have it for fun or whatever. that's cool, but we get like $3 a shirt or whatever, you know. The LMA stuff just comes right to the channel, and we use it to support our employees and everything that we do here. So if you guys get value out of Laser Everything, please consider going to sign up for the LMA, because it'll allow us to grow our team, it'll allow us to offer more, and make things better for you, and allow us to make more content. So
I've learned a lot since I've started, and from the LMA. You know, I used to sit there and watch all the time and look for questions and stuff, and I'd ask questions and I get an immediate response. So they've helped out a lot.
Yeah, it's a chill place, guys, and it makes a big difference. So thank you, Goosey, for signing up. I just want to say that. Really quick, while we have kind of a chat lull, I don't know how late we planned on going tonight. We've been running about 90 minutes, but I did just want to show off some of Amanda's new improvements to the website really quick, because there's some new stuff up there that that people may or may not know exists. So let me just throw my screen up real quick.
Hey Philip, you're more than welcome, bud. Maybe you and Gary can connect. He's got a CNC and he might be close by to you. And also it kind of just depends on what you're looking for. If you don't care how long that takes, you can definitely make something work, but it's just going to take experimentation and time. It's all about efficiency and how efficient you want to be. If you want it to be a business endeavor, it may not pay off immediately doing it via laser, depending on how big you want it to be. So just wanted to set your expectations so you're not disappointed.
Jack in the Box is on his way out. So
thanks for hanging out tonight, Jack. It's great seeing you, man, as always.
Have a good one, brother.
So we had so many tabs up here at this point that I asked Amanda, like, what do we do? Because I want to keep adding tabs. And she said menus. So we have menus now. So up here now, we've got hot links to all of our big shows. So Laser, the Lightburn, Galvo, and Gantry Crash Course, and the EasyCAD 2 and EasyCAD 3 Crash Course. We have the episode search function page. You guys have seen that, and the page that takes you to the Laser Source podcast with links to everywhere you can listen to it. So if you haven't already checked out the podcast, obviously go listen to that. But we now have a shop tab, and look what we've got here. It's the link to the Laser Everything Market, which says coming soon. This link doesn't actually do anything yet, but we've got it. The buying guide, our merch page, and the partners page, all old things, but they've been reorganized into this menu. Resources, guys. So the downloads page, we just talked about this recently, but if you haven't already checked it out, I really recommend that you go look at it. We used to just kind of have a couple software things up. Now we've got a ton of software up, including EasyCAD 2 and EasyCAD 3, all the drivers you need, things like that. And we've got software manuals, we've got hardware manuals, we've got spec sheets for a ton of different laser sources, modern laser sources. So if you're looking for specs on any of that equipment, we've got it there. And the nice thing too about this is if you click it, it just opens in a new tab and you can just reference it. You don't even have to download it, which is really nice. You can, but you don't have to. We have some misreference material. This was provided by members of the LMA. So we have that up on the site for everybody. And we've got a bunch of project files from various videos. These things up here, and somebody was asking about this earlier, but we have the EasyCAD settings log. The old Monroe laser engraving order form is up there. Pack-ins, proof waivers, and a bunch of other stuff. If you guys want to contribute anything, if you notice that we're missing a spec sheet, or you have a manual that we don't have in the hardware or software manual section, please feel free to let one of us know that you have something you'd like to add. But I just kind of wanted to throw that up there really quick so you guys could see, because we've been working hard to bring stuff like this to you, and stuff like this is possible again because of the LMA. So this is the kind of stuff that we're working on in the background, guys. When we're not making videos, we're trying to get resources up and ready for you. Same goes for links. We have a new links page coming. It'll be sorted by category. We're going to have suppliers. We're going to have learning resources. We're going to have other content creators, literally like anything where you can view it or consume it in some way and up your laser game. You've got the links page there. So this should be by the end of the night. taking you to a page with links on it, because that's kind of my project tonight, is to get this filled out. And then Kyle and I are also working on a wiki. So we're gonna just kind of create like a laser everything wiki that just has articles on every possible topic you could possibly imagine, with troubleshooting tips, step-by-step guides, tutorials, things like that, transcripts from episodes. So we'll have that in there really soon as well. So these are two things that we've been working very hard on. And of course, the Laser Everything Marketplace, the Laser Everything. I think I might go LE Market, because we haven't done an official opening yet. And I kind of like the ring of LE Market. But anyway, guys, we are still working very hard every day on the Laser Everything Marketplace for you as well. If you'd like an invite code to become a vendor, just let one of us know, and we can get you in there so you can set up a shop and sell your jigs or digital artwork or training hours or machines or parts or whatever back to the laser community. So that's all
related stuff.
The laser related stuff. So that's all stuff that we've been kind of working on in the background, because Laser Everything is more than just the videos, right? The videos are very helpful, but we're trying to be more than that. We want to expand. We want to help in more ways. There's only so much you can do on a video, and we really want to have a comprehensive library of resources, links, guides, reference material available to you guys. That's my goal, is to basically, like, if you walked into a public library but everything on the shelf was about lasers, like that's what I want Laser Everything to be. Again, all of that is stuff that we're working on here to improve and bring you some new stuff and reach out to you guys in different ways. So that's kind of what we're up to. You guys ever play around with 2.5D STL stuff? I haven't. Have you, Kyle? STL stuff?
Just the grayscale.
Like EasyCAD 3.
Just the grayscales.
Just the grayscale.
Yeah, no.
Not the EasyCAD 3 3D stuff. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, I have no qualms about ending the live stream here. Chat seems to have settled. I think we answered most of the questions, but you
had a question for me before I dove out there for a minute?
I don't even remember. Oh, I was going to ask you how long it took you to throw your stupid lens and mirrors away that came with your Ohm Tech and replace them with good ones off Amazon. How long did you last before you did that?
Maybe a couple of months.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then once I changed the beam combiner, then I replaced the lenses when I did that.
Yeah. Shane Whitecloud heard that the we're wrapping it up tone in my voice and says, question. We're happy to answer it. Robert Weiss passing through, wanted to say hi. What's up, Robert? Good to see you. Thanks for swinging by on your way to wherever you're heading. Goosey says no, but it's late. Love you. We love you too, man. Thanks for all you do to support us. God bless. Appreciate it, bro. Right back at you. Love says, thanks for another great informative episode. Man, I did not think that that's what this was going to be tonight, but here we are. And Gary says, what days and times do you guys do the live streams? That's a great question. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are the podcast days. Typically, this would be a podcast day. We didn't do one today. We just did a live stream today. Dude, honestly, this might end up being a podcast episode. I'm not going to lie. But typically we do Tuesdays, Thursdays around 9. Sometimes it's 9, sometimes it's 9:30. It depends on how well I have my shit together that day. But 9 to 9:30-ish, you should be like, have us on the radar, because that's usually when we do these. We do every podcast episode live right here. So you can always check those out. And then Kyle, who's been really the live stream champion lately, does every other week, maybe a either Friday night or Saturday night. He's been calling them night owl streams. And he's just like in his workshop. Everybody else is in bed, and he's doing shit. He just gets like a hair up something. Yeah, and he's just like, I gotta do this thing today. And they're really good streams. He's got a lot of great interactions with people on the past ones. If you guys haven't seen them, go check them out. The Night Owl streams with Kyle are really good. So keep an eye out for those. We don't schedule them. Kyle just kind of is like, I'm doing it, and then he does it. So you can usually catch those Friday or Saturday nights. And again, not every single week. So those are less consistent, but every Tuesday, every Thursday, 9 to 9:30, we're here. We're recording the podcast. And that's what we're up to. Shane came in with his question. I'm a disabled veteran and I just got my 50-watt Racus today. Congratulations, delivery day. Woo! I need some party poppers. Is Lightburn good to use, or do I need to use EasyCAD? I'm familiar with Lightburn because of my Mira 9. Absolutely. We push everybody that is not in an industrial or manufacturing setting. Literally, if you're using this on like a moving assembly line, like maybe EasyCAD is right for you. Otherwise, you should go with Lightburn. It's just immensely easier to use. You're already familiar with it. Most of the principles are the same. We have an amazing Lightburn for Galvo crash course for you, Shane, that you can watch start to finish. So I highly recommend that to you 100%. And you can start right away. You don't even need to open EasyCAD, at least not initially. You can start right away by just finding the Lightburn for Galvo crash course playlist on the channel page. So I would definitely check that out. Shane said, I started doing stuff at home because it's therapeutical, and I'm really into all the stuff you guys are doing with slides, mags, knives, and more. Yep, there's a ton of that, especially on the Discord, the Facebook group, and the LMA. If you're not already a member over at the Laser Master Academy, go check that out. Those guys are always buzzing about that kind of stuff in there. We don't get super into it on the channel just because we don't want to get demonetized, but our communities are lit up with that kind of stuff. So if you're into that, get into all of them, man. We got links to them down in the description. You're definitely gonna want to check those out because there's a lot of friends down there for you to make for sure. Alan, great show tonight. Learned a lot. Thanks so much for being here, Alan. And Matt coming in at the tail end here. Kyle is a beast. He is. Those Night Owl streams are dope for sure.
The viewer's choice ones are really fun too because you guys kind of get to tailor the stream to what you want it to be.
I know. Once we actually figure out how to run a poll, we should be in really good shape.
It was there, and then it wasn't.
I know. I totally, dude. I'm there. I was with you. That's it, I guess. I did not think that I would be saying these words tonight, guys, but thank you so much for listening to the Laser Source podcast. We really appreciate having you by. I got to publish this, right? It's just like nonstop questions today.
It's now a podcast live stream.
It's loaded. Yeah, it's loaded with stuff. So, I'll trim it down that beginning part where I'm moping around or whatever, and we'll just make it a podcast. In fact, really quick, I'm just going to throw this in there. Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to the Laser Source podcast, the #1 podcast. If you want to grow or scale your laser business, today we're doing questions right here live on the YouTube channel. Just a big Q&A. We've got a lot of stuff. I'm actually saying this at the end of the episode because when we started this episode, we didn't think that we'd really be doing much of anything today. But here at the end, we've just had dozens of great questions, a lot of really good answers. So I encourage you to stay, hang out, and listen to some of the community's questions because the content that we cover in tonight's episode, really informative. I think you guys are going to have a great time and get a lot out of it. So with that said, let's go ahead and start the episode. There. So now that I've said that, now I can clip that and throw it at the beginning without having to do a separate file later. And but yeah, so close out. Right, we're at the end now. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Laser Source podcast. Smokery12 wants us to add crickets in the montage. Maybe like that beginning, the opening sequence or something. We'll throw a little cricket in there. We probably should do a cricket shirt too. We probably need like a Jimmy cricket.
It's like ASMR while you're listening.
Hit me up in the chat right now and smash the like button if you want a Jimmy T cricket t-shirt. And if you want a Blue Poo t-shirt for Kyle CO2, share the channel with somebody so that we can get some more people in here because we'd really like to see that. But I'm doing a terrible job at closing out the episode All right, really quick. Verified says, as far as I've seen, I can't just close out the episode when people are talking to me.
Yeah.
As far as I've seen so far, this hobby is not a big thing down here in Australia and is expensive to buy with the shipping and all, which is ironic because you are significantly closer to China than we are. But
there's at least one brand I've heard of that has stock inside the country. So that might be something you could try and look into. I'll try and fish through old messages to figure that out for you for next time if you ask me again. But
create a like a new there's like a new forum system in Discord, and you can create like threads. Okay, this is the last thing. Seriously, this is the last thing I'm going to show you guys tonight. So here's the Discord. I just wanted to show you guys, we've kind of changed around how the Discord works. So in the old times, it was just a never-ending chat list like this, over and over.
It was a chat room.
It was a chat room. And every time that somebody asked a question, Kyle and I would have to scroll through this chat and find the questions in the nonsense. And we've actually added so Discord has added this forum type feature. So now it organizes things into like posts, and we can mark questions solved. We can see tags so that we know what the question is about and whether or not people need support. You can post pictures, and the best part, of course, is that your question doesn't get buried in chat because it has its own post. So if it doesn't get answered right away, when Kyle and I do check into the Discord, we can see it. We can get back to you with an answer. It's brilliant. It's amazing. We've got it for fiber laser. We've got one for CO2, UV, and diode. Just drop the little thing down. Boom, diode laser. There's 2 posts in there, right? We've got one for software, so you can actually see like there's some posts. This is a brand new feature, guys. It really helps us to answer questions. So, of course, the best place to ask questions is on the Laser Master Academy. If you're not on there, go sign up. But the second best place now, I would say, is the Discord, because things get buried very quickly on Facebook too, on the Facebook group. It's very hard to track questions, and just everybody needs attention on the Facebook group, and it stacks up so fast, and I just can't scroll forever. Discord, awesome place to ask questions. So if you make that a question, on the Discord in one of those forum areas, I'm sure Kyle could get back to you with that answer sooner than the next live stream. So definitely go check that out. The Discord invite link, very, very simple, guys. It's just discord.gg/
I posted it.
laser everything. You don't even need the invite. Very extra. Right there. Throw that up. Boom. Discord.gg/ laser everything, guys. And of course, there's a link to it down in the description as well. So if you go down into the description, you can check that out. But okay, I think that's it. All right, I just didn't want to. God, Matt's such a dick. Look at Matt being a dick. I don't want to leave people hanging. I hate when people are asking questions at the end. They're desperate. I just feel like I absolutely have to answer. So now I think we're through with the questions. So now that we're good, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Laser Source Podcast, or listening. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to rate and review. It's the number one way to make sure that the podcast can get out in front of more people. Apple really cares about those ratings. So leaving us a quick 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts makes a huge difference. If you're not already, please consider supporting the channel and everything we do here at Laser Everything over at masters.lasereverything.net. Links to everything we talked about today down in the description for you. And I think that's all I've got. Do you gentlemen have anything before I close this sucker out?
Crickets are back.
The crickets are back. All right, well, I'm going to go work on
here.
Cricket shirt right now and a blue poo shirt. Go check out the new merch, guys. We just got a ton of new merch in. It's really sick. And I'm super stoked on it. That's it. That's everything, guys. Have a great night, and we will see you in the next one.